And first of all, welcome everybody for being here. I appreciate that you guys all could make time in your day to be here. Todd and I have talked about which works better, the evenings or the mornings. And I think at the last evening event we had, what, 3 or 4?
Yeah.
And so looks like to me the mornings might work a lot better because this is a good turnout. And definitely I want everybody, parents, as many parents as possible to be here for these events and for our school site councils and all of our parent events coming up as much as possible. So we'll go ahead and get started. We have a couple of topics on the agenda, and we kind of got to move a little bit quick today because we need to be pretty close to our hour because of other things we got going on at the school today. So I'll ask Madison to come up and kind of share our student update.
Hello, so I'm Madison. I'm the ASB president here at Bonsall High School, and so I work with all the events the students put on for the students. Upcoming, yesterday we had our teacher student basketball game, which went really well. We attempted a new pep rally schedule to ensure that every class is able to be in session instead of impeding on class time. And I feel as though the students and the teachers received it pretty decently. And then we have our Spirit Week the 25th through the 29th of this month for our Glow Dance on the 29th of March. And then we have a pep rally the 28th of March. And then in April, ASB is planning on a cafe poetry slam with the Fallbrook Cafe near the post office on April 12th, and then a campus cleanup on April 15th, and then our talent show is on the 18th, the day before we go on spring break. And so that's a quick rundown about what's going on ASB. Are there any questions? Yes.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I don't have my glasses on. I can't see what it's
Okay.
Is this information available on the website somewhere?
Yeah, it's all on the calendar on the website.
Calendar on the website. And that's the high school website,
Mm-hmm.
and you would click on, just calendar?
Calendar, yeah,
Yes.
there's a menu item for calendar.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And so the master calendar is updated the current month and then the next month every time, so we'll have 2 months of events coming up. And I have that instead of all of the months coming because sometimes days will change and sometimes times will change and sometimes days will be taken up and things will have to be adjusted. And so this month and next month we try to have things predetermined up on the calendar.
And major things like graduation and stuff are on there.
So the April 15th campus cleanup, does that work towards their service hours?
Yes. And we also serve pizza for all volunteers to stay after the entire time. And so they'll have a lunch, dinner after the campus cleanup. Any other questions?
Madison, I have a quick question. We had our foundation meeting the other night, and Joe Byer came, and I think you met him at the school district meeting. They've got a Keeping Fallbrook Litter Free. It's a cleanup day at the Santa Margarita Watershed cleanup. Can I give you some flyers for that?
Yes. And if ASB doesn't utilize them, we have our Interact Club on campus, which I'm the secretary of, and I could just hand them to them.
Okay.
So before I go pick this up, any questions? Thank you.
Madison, since you're already up there, do you want to go ahead and do the History Day update?
Yes, History Day update. So this year we had significantly less students participate and a few less win. However, our winners for state are Heather Haldo and Sada Barclay, 2 of our juniors in the exhibits category. We have Taylor Gomez Douglas and Adriel Lopez in the group documentary category. And then we have Elmer's last name? Well, we also have a senior, Elmer, who's also going. And I won a special award for best use of primary sources, but did not win a state trip. But those are all of our winners that won special awards or state trip awards. And the event is going to be, and our trip is going to be March 10th through the 12th. 12th is Mother's Day, however, we should be coming back in the late afternoon, sadly. And then we'll be competing up in Rockland, California at a college campus up there. Any questions about that?
Call again, Madison. Sorry.
All the names?
No, just let's see. I'll email you for all the names, but National History Day.
Yes.
State level, national.
State
history.
level National History Day. We all competed in San Diego, and those are our winners for moving up to state. And then nationals will be hosted in Maryland. Any questions?
So pretty good outcome. We had 6 county champions basically, and 1 special award, and so that's a great outcome for a school of our size, any way you look at it. And those kids are all going up to Rockland to compete against the best of every county. You know, just real impressive, the amount of time and effort that these kids put into their projects, put into their presentation, put into their essays, and each of them won in a different category. So one of them was for the best research paper, one of them was for the best presentation, one of them was for the best video documentary, and then one was for the best use of primary sources. So pretty impressive. I mean, and these are things that colleges look at, and in fact the Cal State system sees these kind of county level events as being a huge indicator of success at college. So by just even attending these events, kids get some points as far towards their CSU application, if you will, and when you come out with a grand champion, I mean, that's a nice little feather that you can put in your college applications. So these kids, you know, have really kind of gone above and beyond on that, and I know it's been really a focus for a lot of these guys for the last couple of weeks and probably month, but it really paid off. Their hard work really paid off on that one as well. So kind of transitioning a little bit from that, we have some new flyers. So I think everybody had an opportunity to get one. Just kind of a nice way to kind of market the school and get this out. We have our new student information night is coming up on March 20th. So if you know of any 8th graders, or if you're a parent of an 8th grader planning on attending, that's the night to come, and we're having 2 sessions. We're having a 4 o'clock and a 6 o'clock. We'll probably have a makeup sometime after that, depending on how many people are not able to make that. Obviously, it's not a requirement to attend, but it is a good time to be here when there'll be a number of kids here, there'll be some teachers here, opportunity for new students and their parents to kind of take a tour of the school, get to know the programs, talk to some of the teachers, talk to some of the students, kind of see what we have to offer. So that's on March 20th. So if anybody has any, maybe just wants to come, I mean, you're obviously welcome, but especially if you have any new students, 8th graders or folks transferring in, you're absolutely welcome. And everybody please enjoy the pamphlet. This is just, you know, kind of a nice little ad campaign for us. Kind of tells what we're all about. This will go out to all the parents. This will be available in some form on our website, although obviously not with the glossy fancy. But I thought it actually came out really well. So thank you to Ms. LeBlanc for designing this. Okay, so kind of going in order, and I know a lot of you are here because there are questions, concerns, thoughts about the potential co-location to Palomar College, and so let me just be very, very blunt about where we are right now. We have finally, and obviously this was the great news that I was wanting to share with us over the last couple of ping meetings that got sort of pushed back. We were sort of in the situation where until both boards had an opportunity to discuss it, it really couldn't go out to the parents. It's kind of a Brown Act situation. So a lot of what we could say as a district, what I could say as an individual was very limited. So I know a lot of people had some concerns about the lateness of the email or the lateness of the letter inviting you to that location, but that's part of the reason for that. And now we have finally got to step 1 in that potential process. So at this point, we're really only at the point where we have a tentative, hey, this is a great idea, let's talk about it. And that's really as far as we are. So I know that kind of leadership of both the district and the college both are in support of moving forward with that. Myself, my staff are in support of moving forward with it as much as we can, but we haven't checked all the boxes yet. We haven't gone through all of the legal obligations yet. We haven't figured everything out, what it all looks like. So really, in all honesty, at this point, we are at step 1 in that process. So it's certainly not a 100% done deal, although I think there is a lot of will to make it happen, and I'm hopeful that over the course of the next several months, weeks and months, that all of the work will be done by both the college and the district and ourselves to get us in a place where We'll have some procedures and policies kind of outlined. We'll know more what the master schedule of the kids will look like. We'll know how our individual campuses will be kept distinct and safe. And we'll have more to share with you at future PING meetings and at future events. There will be a letter coming out by the superintendent this morning, and it will come out to the entire district, to everybody. So just real quickly, I'll give you a little
Preview.
And part of what's in that meeting is an invitation to a March 21st meeting here to really have more discussion about that topic. So this will be sort of like the first of what might end up being many of our little town halls, like we sort of did when we were doing EE. We'll have some open time to talk about the proposal, talk about how that's going to look. Hopefully by then, maybe we have a little more information, probably not a whole lot more, but at that point we'll be able to kind of have an open forum to get a lot of feedback from parents, discussion. By that point, we'll know, more about what's going on with the transportation situation, which some of you folks shared with me after the board meeting that's a concern. So we'll be able to talk about a lot of that stuff a little more freely with a little more knowledge, and have an opportunity at that point to really kind of share some of the data, talk about some of the specifics as far as we know them at that point. And I understand that there's a parent house having a meeting. Yes, ma'am?
Yes. So hi, I'm Leslie. I have a 10th grader and I have a 7th grader, and I live in the Arrowwood community. And we have a couple community Facebook sites, and I noticed when this information came down to us on Monday that, of course, the Facebook sites were blowing up and people were expressing concerns, etc. So myself and another community member who actually doesn't have any children in the district, but lives in Arrowwood, decided that we would rent the clubhouse and have folks, just if they wanted to come, because I did attend the meeting on Tuesday night, as did Leah, who also lives in Arrowwood and has 2 children here, and Julie. I don't know if any other people here attended the meeting Todd, excuse me, and of course Dr. Fowler. So we're doing just kind of an informal, open whatever on Sunday at 1 o'clock at the Arrowwood clubhouse, and everybody's welcome to come and share ideas, express concerns. If you want to find out what we found out at the meeting, if you don't want to wait till the 21st meeting, you're welcome to come by.
And I will be attending that meeting as well,
Yes.
just as a participant. So, don't look to me to lead it, but I'll be there with the data that we were provided by the college, some of the data that we've collected, just to share, some of the statistics about these kinds of programs. And we'll look at a couple of, I'll even bring some stuff about a couple of different models. I mean, I think I was sharing with you guys after the meeting the other night that there's really a lot of middle college, early college, dual enrollment, college on campuses, high school campus programs, high school colleges on college campus programs around the state and around the country. There's probably 1,000 models. We don't know what ours is going to look like yet, So I think we're also, after that meeting with the superintendent, we're probably going to put together a little committee of some parents, teachers, maybe a couple of students, and we're actually going to go and visit a couple of those kind of programs to see how they operate and to kind of see for yourselves, talk to some of the kids, talk to some of the teachers, see the successes that they've been able to get, look for yourself about how they've maintained the security in those kinds of things, as I understand security is one of the bigger concerns. And I've said this before, and I'll say it to all of you here. We will not put a child on that campus until we have a good, clear plan about how to keep them safe. So, bottom line. And if that means that it ends up pushing us back an extra 6 months before we're able to move over there, that means that it pushes us back an extra 6 months before we move over there, if indeed that goes forward. So I just want everybody to understand that safety is a major concern for all of us. Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to hear that from Mr. Jones as well.
Okay,
I think and the board as well. I mean, it would be nice to hear that from everybody.
Sure.
I mean, I'm kind of, the people that I've been talking to, I just kind of encourage them to, I think as you and I spoke, because I'm just kind of gathering information. I don't have an opinion right now, either way, of how I feel about it. And I'm just trying to get information. So I started researching what these early, middle, because it's a new model of education. So you would want, for yourselves, go online, Google it, look at the statistics, and then maybe think about what are your top 2 priorities in high school. What are your top 2 concerns? I mean, we all might not be able to get everything we want, but for some families it might be athletics, and for other families it might be transportation is the biggest issue because they have, they're a single parent or they have both working, and for some it's the curriculum. So think about what it is that is your biggest concern and what it would take to alleviate that, and are we going to be able to? Is the district going to be able to alleviate that, or whatever your concern is about your number 1 or your number 2.
I think that's a great strategy, and coming to that meeting on the 21st with exactly that frame of mind, with here's some concerns, here's some ideas, here's some needs that we have as parents going forward, so that we can address that. I think that's a great suggestion. Yes, ma'am.
Kim, is that date possible to be moved? There's a track meet on the 21st, and there's several moms in this room that I know will be at that event because we're drivers for our children. So is there,
I believe we're going to have more than one event. That's just the first one that's scheduled.
okay.
I believe, this hasn't been confirmed yet, but I believe we're also gonna do what we did for the town hall and kind of come to the different neighborhoods.
Okay.
So I hope we're able to make that happen, and if not, we'll have at least a couple of different meetings here
Okay.
so that we can
I just don't want it to be a
accommodate
missed
several.
opportunity because
Right.
we're doing something else school related.
I completely agree,
for kids.
completely agree. And we'll figure something out for that. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a time for the meeting on the 21st?
I believe it's at 6, but wait for the letter from the
Okay.
superintendent. And that should come out I'm guessing by 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
Because I know the draft was done and it just needed to be, kind of checked for typos, I guess, at that point. So it's ready to go. So that's really kind of all we know right now. And I know that there's sort of, and I'm guilty of this, and I know we kind of all are as folks that are working at Bonsall High School. We're all super excited, so we're kind of jumping ahead a little bit, thinking about things, maybe saying some things out of turn a little bit that, maybe we're trying to move a little too quickly. And I know some parents that are concerned are saying, hey, hold up, you guys are moving too quickly. Accept it. totally take that 100%. But recognize that it is an exciting opportunity. I know the early college, middle college model is one that works because I have experience with it, and I can tell you that in places where it's been for a long time, it really started kind of back east in New York, and really started in the early 70s and has been expanding ever since. And there are several schools in San Diego County. There are several just north of us in Riverside, and being able to take a few people to tour those things and kind of look at them and help to alleviate some concerns about what this happens. I know that the one that I was at, we had prom, we had a full sports program, we had dances, we had ASB with clubs and clubs and clubs and clubs, a very robust, very high school program. And I think that's a model like that is something we want to pursue, one where we could have that distinct identity as a high school. Keep the things that are working, Sports program, obviously something that's popular. Our ASB, our clubs, our activities, our fundraisers, our field trips, all of the fun student stuff, that's the stuff that's really popular and works well. And so keeping that where we can, I think, is going to be a key.
Well, and I also think that, I think as a fairly new school, and as it seems like a school that's still trying to figure out what's working curriculum-wise, for me, that is a big concern. I want to see, that's great that they have the opportunity to take, the classes,
Right.
but what is the high school portion going to look like? Because there's definitely things that are not working even on this campus, as we know, that needs to be stepped up or, improved. And so it's like, I think that I don't want the high school portion of it to get lost in the focus of, the college piece in lieu of.
Agreed.
Does that make sense?
And that's a great transition to this. And I'm not going to give you this entire presentation because it's really a board presentation. But in just a minute, we'll kind of walk through kind of our plan. And so this PowerPoint it was made and is intended as kind of, regardless of where we are, right? So really it was made before we had at the tentative go-ahead for Palomar. So this is intended to be this is where we are right now. We're going to be on this campus for the foreseeable future, and these are the things we're going to put into play. So I'm gonna walk through it very, very quickly without a whole lot of information today, because it's going to be presented at the board meeting with a couple of changes, obviously a couple of additions, but I think that it's something that we all want to know, because at this point, you know, it's true. At this, we've been named a low-performing school, and we need to have a plan in place to move forward and become, you know, go from red, go from orange on our dashboard, going to blue, and that's what every single one of the staff members here understand. That first and foremost, we need to get our ducks in a row. We need to make sure that the plan that we have in place is going to be successful for all of our kids. And so that's kind of this other piece. And I know those of you that are on the school site council have seen that plan reflects a lot of teacher development, reflects a lot of different programmatic changes, additions that are also being talked about here. So they're tied together, that we're spending our money towards improvement as part of a plan. And so, yes, ma'am.
I don't want to go sidetrack, but having mentioned that, one of the slides from the other night showed that you want to split the grades and move them, you know, 11th, 12th graders, 9th, 10th graders. How does that work for our teachers?
Well, and that would be,
That doesn't seem.
that's one plan on the table, and there would be some challenges. I mean, that's absolutely true. We do have some electives that are multi-grade levels and stuff, and we have to look at how those looked going forward. But a lot of our teachers teach primarily 11th grade, you know, so primarily 12th grade, and moving the master schedule around. I mean, it is possible, not saying this is a good idea, because I'm not sure it is, but it is possible for a 6-month period, if we had the facilities there and everything was ready, to move half the student body, we theoretically could. Now, I'm not sure it's a great idea.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's a great idea. I'm just saying that it's possible.
To doing that,
Yeah.
why would
Why?
you do that as opposed to moving?
Why?
We promote, even in this flyer, small family.
Mhm.
So let's split up that family and make it smaller, which is one of their biggest complaints, that we're already so
Right.
small.
Right.
And how do you operate two buildings, and safety being the number one concern?
That's absolutely, those are all concerns that I think the staff shares, and I think that was just kind of an idea about, okay, you know, not really thinking everything through, just, you know, if we were able to get 6 portables over there, could we get started with 6 portables? Maybe, but is that the best thing to do? Maybe not. So I think that's all stuff that we really need to weigh. We really need to look at the plan. We really need to look at how much it does affect the student body, how much it does affect the instruction, how much it does affect those electives, those classes, all those things, and then make a more knowledgeable decision about whether that makes sense. Maybe it doesn't. It's just one of the things that was suggested.
Okay, I appreciate that, because the whole dashboard, to me, seems like we're constantly putting the cart before the horse, and we're constantly then going back and having to do damage control. And this is a super important thing to change our,
Agreed.
and that just screams disaster to me.
Fair
I don't
enough.
know about everybody else.
And I think that, like I said, I think that we need to be very purposeful. We need to make sure that we have the plan in place, that we've looked at all of the possible scenarios before we decide which way to go. You know, so
And transparency.
Uh, absolutely. And
Parents.
now that we've had the conversations with the board, we can talk a lot more about certain things. You know, we can now get some feedback from parents. We can have these nights to hear your concerns and take on, and those concerns are important. I mean, those are things that will direct us, you know, because
They keep you here.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
have options.
Yeah, so we want, you know, like you said, I mean, we can't make everybody 100% happy, but we want to have the best program in place that's going to be the most successful, that's going to be the best for your kids in the long run, that's going to do the most towards moving us to blue. And that's, you know, I had a superintendent one time that talked about education, that said education is constantly building a plane while in flight. Unfortunately, that's kind of true. And it's, you know, you can't take off a year and say, okay, we're gonna put this project off for 3 years, and so all the kids, you guys just stay at home while we figure it out. You know, we just don't have we don't have that capability. We have to keep working with the kids as we're trying to build these new programs, as we're trying to do these new things. And so that's kind of a piece of that. Before I get into this, let's talk about, because I know some people had some questions about testing schedule. So Miss Erin, do you mind sharing the testing schedule, the CASP schedule this year?
Sure, what we have there.
Yes, please.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, I am Miss Erin Chelland, and I am the counselor. So, just a little brief overview for the scheduling. It is going to begin on Monday, April 15th. We're looking at doing the English portions Monday and Tuesday that week in the morning, so before lunch. We've kind of broken up to 4 different rooms to support our students, so they're not all testing in a tight space, but they can have kind of a nice, relaxed atmosphere. Wednesday, Thursday that week, we'll be doing the math same way. We're going to have it in the morning before lunch. And then we have the break the following week. So once we come back on May 7th and 8th, it's a Tuesday and Wednesday, then we're going to do the portion for the science. And we're going to do it a little differently with that and do 2 sessions each day, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, to get through the science test. It is a shorter test, so we're able to condense it a little bit more into only 2 days. And I believe that's it. We will have a separate room for any students who need accommodations, so that will be set up in that schedule as well.
Is that all grade levels?
So for that, I apologize, it's all 11th graders. And then any 12th grader who did not take the science portion would be taking it. And I don't believe we have any right now. So I believe everyone took it. So it'll be just the 11th grade.
Now, we've looked at a couple of different models on, I'll come over there.
All right, thanks.
We've looked at a couple of different models on doing the testing thing, and one of the things we really wanted to be able to do was sort of maintain those smaller class sizes for testing. We wanted to have, as much as possible, the teachers that were responsible for the kids in that particular content area, so the English teachers overseeing the English assessments, and the math teachers overseeing the math assessments, the science teachers overseeing the science assessments, as much as we possibly can. For our students that need accommodations, we'll have some of our special ed teachers in there working with those kids. We have a pretty good plan that they're going to do some practice tests between now and then. We're going to have some events to kind of prepare kids, have some incentives for, you know, taking it seriously, and just from the parent side of things, you know, we'll ask for your help to make sure the kids have a good breakfast before testing each day, make sure they get plenty of sleep those evenings, because having a nice refreshed child that's not hungry is gonna benefit them when they sit down to take those tests, and we'll basically do the rest, but we'll keep you informed about that as it goes, and if we have any changes, we'll let you know. Okay. Any questions about testing? Okay. Thank you. Real quick before we go forward with this, and a little piece of it is CTE. So one of the things that we're in line for a couple of CTE grants, and one of the things that we need is to have a conversation with parents about the need, or if there is a parental desire, to add to our district LCAP some items about CTE, so that we can become eligible for some of these state grants that have to do with CTE. CTE is Career Tech Ed, so it's your career courses. We have quite a number of those. Ms. LeBlanc, do you want to talk about that just a little bit, the CTE grants?
The CT grants were
Could you go
applied
front?
for. Yeah, sorry. The first group of grants that we're going after is through
The K-14 Doing What Matters for Jobs in the Economy, which is a program that Governor Brown started 3 years ago. And San Diego County has a group consortium of all of San Diego and Imperial County has been working together along with the community colleges to align high school courses to directly go into the pathway programs at the community colleges for students to be able to get middle skills jobs. The definition of a middle skills job is that you need more than high school, but you need less than a 4-year college. The potential growth of middle skills jobs between now and 2025 is expected to increase 38% in the state. All told, middle skills jobs is about just over 40% of all the jobs in the state currently. And with the lack of ROP that went away in 2008, they're realizing that students lost the access to those middle skills jobs.
And what's ROP?
ROP is the Regional Occupational Program that was started decades and decades ago that was in the high schools. And what it has turned into is called Career Technical Education. I am a certified career technical education instructor. I am actually a middle skills job person. That's how I got where I am, is through my middle skills. And the purpose of this money, if LCAP, we get it in the LCAP and everything, is to help build the program. Right now, it's just me. We need more supplies. We need more access to other facilities. We have an MOU in place with Palomar College, which is a mutual agreement about how we're going to work together of building courses. We do have students this year for the first time that will be receiving certificates of proficiency. I think it's 14 or 15 seniors are going to be receiving that this year, along with a couple of juniors. So we want to develop that program as well for students that 4-year may not be the perfect path for them, but they have other options other than just a minimum wage job. Yes.
Could you just speak real quick to what the certification is in? What certification programs?
What we're doing here?
Yeah.
Okay, we're trying to build them,
Yeah.
okay?
What
But
do you-
right now what we have, the certificates of proficiency are going to be in electronic publishing. That means they have completed 4 graphics courses and they have the ability to do print work or web work, some web design stuff. We just started this year a computer science pathway that actually moves into about 3 different sectors over at Palomar College. One would be cybersecurity, so that's why we brought that pathway in. We are focusing on what the San Diego workforce has deemed the jobs that are important for San Diego County. There's 5 sectors that we are to be focusing on, and we are focusing in on those sectors. Next, we're hoping to bring in next year is a business certificate out of Palomar College, because entrepreneurship is one of the sectors, and the courses with that would give the kids 2 base business classes, but then there would actually be an internship through Palomar College with a local industry. So we're working on trying to bring that in. We don't have it in stone yet. The courses that I'm teaching, the soldering class that I'm teaching, is to give them a base skill to either move on to welding at Palomar College or possibly the Rainbow Water District. Their job force is aging out and they need new people to come in and train. So that's the possibility with that one. We're doing an animation class, which is teaching the kids how to create animations for like Facebook and Twitter, which is a very growing industry for marketing. And that would also flow into a couple of different pathways that they have at Palomar, as well as it would also focus into the gaming, because it's a base skill level for the gaming certificates and degrees that are at Palomar. And then the third one that I'm currently teaching is a 3D product design, which is using 3D printers to help them design 3D products, which are used in a lot of industries now for prototyping and creating, manufacturing multiple things at cheaper prices, and there's a whole new world just opening up right now for
The first rocket just launched like a couple weeks ago based on a completely 3D printed, and it costs like a fraction of what a normal
Yeah.
rocket would cost.
Yeah.
to
So
launch.
what we're trying to bring in with the CTE, we are aligning directly with Palomar College with the MOU that we have in place. The courses that I'm teaching, I actually cover 2 different areas in CTE, which is really beneficial. So I have a wider range of courses that I can teach. We're hoping next year to bring in a course from Project Lead the Way that would cover a CTE. It's a computer integration manufacturing course, I believe is the correct title. And that would be through Project Lead the Way, which is a national program to also work on giving kids more important job skills that they'll need for the future.
How much awareness do the teens have about these different opportunities?
Can you repeat the question?
Amazing.
Yeah, exactly, but it's not.
The question was how, I just want it for the video. So the question was,
The question is, do the kids know about this? Yes, the kids know about this.
How much do they know?
The parents need to know about it.
I love this.
The reason why is the brochure. That's the main reason for the brochure, is to get out there about CTE. All of the kids in 8th grade, the presentation that was done this week does talk about the CTE. The program on March 20th, that night, I'll come and we'll talk about CTE there. The kids all know about it now because as kids filter out of my classroom, because I do all the Palomar liaison stuff, they're seeing the soldering things that are being made. They're seeing the 3D production things that are being made. So pretty much all the kids on campus are like, hey, I want in that one next year.
Yep.
So
If we could kind of get that out to our kids, which classes are available, because I think it's a big idea that they're not quite grasping.
right.
I love this idea. To me, this is hugely important.
Yeah.
And
In the-
I would love to support you in that however I can.
I don't know what will happen this year for course selection for next year, but they were on the list with a definition for the kids last year to try to get them to understand.
Just don't
But
think
yeah,
about
we're
it.
trying to. Yeah, yeah. This is the very, very first year with this. All of the courses have already been approved through the A through G, and on the website, there's now a direct link to the UC A through G website that shows all of Bonsall's courses that have been approved and the descriptions of them. That is on the
That's
website.
on the website?
Yes, it is.
And what is it under? I'm sorry.
Parents. There's 2 places. I tried to condense this down. When you go to parents and students, it says parents and it says students. Parents, you have 1 page. Just go through it and you'll have links to whatever you're more interested in. Students, go to that stuff.
I'll go again, but I was even just trying to find out what our requirements are for graduation. I couldn't find them.
I'll be honest, has been taken off. Dr. Fowler is working with the district on that to make a couple of corrections and changes and updates. Until we know for sure what it's going to be, I pulled it off because I didn't want you to have one thing and is it this month or next month?
It's this month.
This month's board meeting it changes. So that was pulled. But I'm working to try to change the website up. Unfortunately, we're locked into where the website is, and it's not a very flexible. What do I want to say? It's not a flexible website.
Careers.
But I'm trying to go to the college, go to the one that says college and careers. Right there, right now, it talks about, it has
one-
Erin listed. Yeah, it's one page again, and just go
There's
down.
one link, I think, on the career college section, and that takes you to, I think, it's just a link that takes you to that website where if you're planning a
Can we,
career or
I'm sorry,
college.
I know we have limited time, and I don't
Okay.
wanna shut you off, but I also know there's a lot more to cover, so maybe these
If-
kind of conversations could happen offline with Liz, like, and
Just
work out
send
those
me
details.
emails. It's liz.leblon@bonsall.esdu.com. Give me what you want to see, and I'll start adding it. I'm trying to get it to where you go to one page and you'll just go down. That's what I want. Click. There's my information. So there's not the 40 different pages they had that didn't have correct stuff.
I think that,
So-
if I may real quick, I think the website, part of the problem is enrollment, and you have to look at your website as the thing that's gonna entice families to wanna
Mhm.
come to Bonsall High School, and there is not a lot of information, like just what you said about that program,
Mhm.
the CTEs, if it was in even just bullet points of what you've done in the past, not necessarily what's even gonna come, but parents wanna see that. It's like saying that we prepare, like it's too generic, it's too vague,
Okay.
it needs to be more specific, what sets us apart from the other schools, and that is not what I feel like is being played up and being really kind of focused in on.
Okay. I'll go back to that section and rework it. I'm trying to get it to where you can at least go to, you know, I want to know what an SAT is. Here's the quick description. There's the link to go sign up.
What are A through G requirements? A lot of families don't even know that, you know.
That we do have. I'll have to figure out that. I did put someplace of what they are. But yeah.
This part is so important, us actually talking about it. This is gonna go so much further. So let's keep this up as, you know, such a good positive. This is where the breakdown in communication will stop if we can verbalize. Thank you so much for your.
And involve other parents to come to these meetings, and if they can't come, to watch the video. I post it every month. I mean, I think that's really the problem here, is people are not engaged, and so therefore they're not informed. I'm not saying you aren't, but a lot of people, so you hear that in your communities, that like, I don't know what's going on, but they're not necessarily going to the places
And
they
that's
need
one
to
of
go.
our first goals, right, on the
We don't know far enough.
student improvement, was to
Right,
engage
absolutely.
families and
the
student
student
section.
Can I just add too, I'm gonna be posting some
A through G's on
information
students.
nights
Okay, thank you.
later in the
I'll add it to
school
the
year,
parents
more
thing,
this spring. That will help clarify a lot of things, as what are A to G classes, what should your student be doing now to be on track for graduation, or college, prep, all of that. So know that that is gonna be coming up. I did some for the current seniors in the beginning of the school year.
Yeah, it
So we're
also
gearing
needs
up.
to be school-wide though.
No, I
right?
totally agree. Well, it's
It-
open to
it-
any students. We did seniors, because it's a little different
Yeah.
when you're talking to seniors versus other, but those are gonna be coming up. I'm waiting for the graduation requirements, because I don't wanna, again, give a speech on requirements that could be different in a week.
Yeah.
So,
Because, I
but
mean,
no, those are coming.
you're trying to get families that, especially the more at-risk students, especially to take those A through G classes. And, I mean, I'm an educated person, but I got an education back east. It's different here on the West Coast. And then you've got families that English is their second language, they don't have a college education, and it's like, if I mean, I'm kind of savvy about researching, and I can't find stuff. It's like, you know, and I've got a 10th grader, I'm like, I need to know this. And I can imagine other families have that.
I can tell you one of the
as well.
goals is going to be, once the A through G changes, you're going to go and it's going to say 9th grade you're taking these classes, 10th grade you're taking these classes, 11th grade you're taking these classes,
Yeah.
12th grade you're taking these. Here's your options
Yeah.
for
You get
12th
the
grade.
box, check
And
it off
yeah.
as you go.
so you know what you have to take. Less than 45% of the students statewide complete the A through G. It's not anything that you're not alone, and it is a struggle that I know all schools work towards, making sure parents understand A through G. The high school that my children are at, I'm at those meetings, and I'm actually their foundation president, so I stand up at those meetings and talk about A through G. I will do everything I can to try to make it the easiest to find. I am really trying to make that website better. The problem is we are so limited on that site. Todd can attest.
Why are you guys so limited on what you can put?
Because they used a site called Foursquare, so we can only use their templates, and at this time, due to
Squarespace.
Squarespace, is that,
Yeah.
I can't even remember what the thing is called, like, I hate it so much. We have about 10 templates that we get to pick from, and we have very limited options of how to adjust them, and the cost to change, we're looking at several $1,000s,
Is it a
unfortunately.
contract? At some point, can we be rid
It's-
of them? And
Well,
do another-
here's the issue. It's $300 versus $5,000. At this point in time with the district, what's more, you know,
I think
and
it's
so that's why I'm
important.
trying to
That's
fix
part of the
things.
problem
I
is
know.
that,
I
you know,
I
everyone
totally
actually
get it and understand.
You need butts
Um,
and seats, and you're not gonna get it with, you know.
Yes.
you've
I
gotta-
am- I-
they've gotta
I-
be more forward
I hear ya.
thinking and-
I totally hear you on that, and I'm trying to do what I can. I'm very limited.
Well, if
just
we
because
can
of the
do
site.
anything as parents, if we need to go to the board and encourage.
You know, I can speak to
Yeah,
that.
please.
For those who
On the
don't know me,
board.
I'm Larissa Anderson, I actually sit on the board. So I'm one of the people who actually sits there and votes yay or nay for the things that come to the board. And so I'm here as a parent, my daughter's a senior. And a couple things I'd like to bring up. The things that I hear that people are really excited about are because of our Palomar partnership, for one. And a lot of that is very new and because of Ms. LeBlan's efforts. So a lot of this is, I mean, we're a startup school. I mean, we are graduating our second class this year. And I think when we hear where these children will be attending college when they're walking across the stage this year, I think people are gonna be really impressed by the caliber of education that these children have received at Bonsall High School. That being said, we still are growing. There's still a lot of things that need to happen. And we're at the point now, I think, you know, we've had a failed couple bond attempts, and Palomar, the opportunity here is really it's an extraordinarily excellent opportunity for our community. And you can hear from the CTE and other pathways. I mean, it's a way to, the resources at the Palomar level are so significant to buffer the opportunities for our children and the future children for this district moving forward. So I think at this point we need to allow, you know, the growth to happen and to be as supportive as we possibly can. And the best way we can address that is to really filter the letters to the district office, you know, in terms of, you know, Mr. Jones and his staff at this point. And then, you know, and of course include Dr. Fowler and whatnot. But if you see the need for additional resources at the high school, you need to send an email and say, hey, we need more at the high school, you know, and this is what I see that needs to happen. Because in order for those funds to be made available at the high school level, we need to have the support from the parents saying, these are the things that need to happen. We need to have more of Ms. LeBlanc being able to have access to websites and whatnot. So if there's things that parents see that need to happen, you need to bring it directly to the district.
Well, like there's
and
things
to-
that
to
you
Mr.
guys
Jones as
choose,
well.
if you'd like what I'm saying, like, you know, let us
Yeah.
know, and so we
So
can
the
then advocate
biggest
for.
thing that would help, because depending on how we write it, I haven't told I was at a meeting yesterday about the grant that I'm spending the rest today writing for. We really need you in the LCAP to say, CTE, we want it to expand, we want it to grow, we want the CTE to be able to outreach, and CTE should, I don't know how we'd word it correctly, but if we throw in there the website, I might be able to get some grant money to redo the whole website. But I've got to have specifically in the LCAP, I have to have wording about CTE for the money I'm going after today, and then in a month from now I'm going after Perkins money. And that's another grant that if I word it right and the LCAP backs me, I might be able to pull money from what I'm trying to get to fix the website. I got no guarantee, but I can try.
Just, 20 minutes, to confirm then, the LCAP, the survey is on the website.
Yes, it is.
Due date.
But it's closed.
Oh, it's-
It's closed.
Is the LCAP closed already?
The LCAP is closed, I believe.
Okay.
I'll check with Jack.
Okay, so since we can no longer do the LCAP survey, or some of us have or haven't done
We need meeting minutes that specifically say, somebody makes a motion, somebody seconds it, hey, we want LCAP in the CTE, and we want it to focus on bringing in middle skills and outreach to our community and our middle school with the potential, which would include improving the website.
it. Well, because
Did-
we're not,
did
you
I-
know, you're saying the school board, or you're saying this?
I'm saying this group of parents, because this,
Obviously, we're
The
gonna
way the
our
rules
whole
work
group.
is we just have to have a meeting that's open to parents,
Okay.
and parents have to express an interest in having LCAP
So these
in the,
meeting minutes that I'm typing
right now is all I need. That's why I'm standing here going,
Expressed. Does anybody want a second?
Yeah.
Alright, there we go.
Let me just add a student real quick so we can move on. We have 20 minutes left and there's a lot on the agenda. For the website, as a student, I was able to go on the website and in 3 minutes I found everything about A through G's, graduating and careers for your student. And so if you're struggling
that's
on
under-
the website, first, yeah, it's on the website.
but it's under student, not parents. I need to move it to parent as well, sorry. I'll put it under both.
Because this is what we're good at. This is what we use every day. And then from there, if you're unable and truly unable to find something you feel like you need, then express it to people who are in charge of putting it together, like LeBlanc. But as a student and as a teenager, I was able to quickly navigate it. And if you feel at a loss, I really suggest you ask your student first, because I'm sure they're fully capable
And I'll
of
double
using
up what's on the parent page and the student page.
It's a marketing
Yeah.
tool for our
I know.
school, and not just for families and kids that are currently here. It needs to be
Especially on the
seen
front
as an
page.
what?
I can move it to the front
School
page.
should be on the front page.
Yeah,
move it to the front
I
That's
think-
important to grab people in so then they want to continue.
I'm with you,
I can
Leslie. We
front
need
page.
to, you know, do a better job at communicating that how great the school is.
Yeah.
And that's something that you and I can work on together, and Liz, you know,
Yeah.
it's challenging with all the things that are going on, but
No,
I agree.
I know that it's not to put blame or say or,
Yeah.
That's great information, that's what you need and can use and, yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Okay, so I know we're rushed for time. Liz, I'm gonna reach out to you to get the exact language you're looking for, but I do have a question because you're a valuable resource to this campus.
Yeah.
specifically.
You're not gonna ask what I think you're gonna ask, are you?
Are you here next year?
Okay, let me,
Mic drop.
I'm gonna take, let me explain the whole background so everybody understands the position I'm in. I am CTE, I'm a middle skills job. A middle skills person does not have a 4-year degree. I am from industry. To get a CTE credential, I documented 1,000 hours of work. I documented, I think it was 4 reference letters from industry professionals that documented my skill set. I went and applied, and I had an original ROP credential from 2001. My ROP is 2001. 2008, ROP goes away. Most ROP teachers were sitting at Palomar College. That's where I was sitting. I had the opportunity to go down to the county office and talk to them and keep the credential, and at that time, they let me split it into 2 credentials. That's why I have 2 credentials. I got hired last year by Bonsall High School in November. Last June, I was informed that I needed to get something called a CLAD credential, which means I understand how to teach to English language learners. Everybody's shaking their head. I immediately started my classes at University of Phoenix. It was a 24-week, 3 8-week courses through the University of Phoenix. I got an A in all of them, yay. At the end of December, is when I completed those classes. I immediately applied for the CLAD. The state came back and said, you have no foreign language credits. I gave them what I have for my AA degrees, and I have 4 Spanish units. They want 6. I immediately enrolled in an online Palomar level 2 Spanish class. I have not had Spanish since, it shows my age, I've not had Spanish since 1983. Okay? So I'm in a level 2 class. I am passing. I've got a solid C right now. Yay for me. But last Friday,
I'll help you.
we actually have students that are getting community service hours for tutoring me. We really do. Yeah, we do. I've got about 3 students that help me every week. Anyway, last Friday, Janet Whidden came to me and informed me I had 2 options. I could either be officially fired by the board, or I could resign. If I let the board officially fire me, it would be permanent on my record. So I officially resigned on Monday, effective June 30th. I have the opportunity, if the job is not posted before June, and I get through my Spanish class and prove that I finished my Spanish class, I can then reapply for the job, go through the hiring process again, and be rehired back for next year.
And the board had to fire you because of the credential requirements?
Yes, it is all because of the credential issue. The board will be dealing with it specifically next week. Larissa probably does not know I'm on the agenda yet. I don't know if you do or don't.
Gotta love her.
Yeah, and unfortunately, at some point I will get to a state representative and start talking to them. Because of this K-14 pathways and them trying to bring CTE back, this will be an issue with anybody who has a CTE credential, because the definition of us is we are industry professionals that are coming back to teach the next generation our skill set. That's the total definition of what a CTE position is.
So your years of experience equated to your credential and your
Yes.
education?
Yes.
Like they do in a lot of jobs and
Yes.
professions.
Yes. But with this, I have to finish this Spanish class. I have to pass it, fingers crossed everybody, and then I have to go through the whole rehiring process again.
Can I ask one question very
Yes.
simple? When did they make the change of instead of being 2 units to 4 units or 4 units?
I have no idea.
You have no idea.
I have no idea about any of that. I just know back when I got it, you didn't have to have 2 years of language. There was only 1 year, but they're not grandfathering anybody in for that, from what I
I'm gonna say
understand.
something. I'm very opinionated. I came here with the idea of, I'm sorry. I came here to listen because I love being, my daughter
Yeah.
is a senior graduating. I am absolutely sad that a person like you that have so much to offer have to go with the red tape that our politicians have implemented in our state. It has.
But there's nothing to be done with that, so what?
I know. So how can we help you?
I'll
And
pray
like
I pass
said,
the Spanish
I'm bilingual.
class.
That's why I'm trilingual. I'll be more than happy to meet with you once a week if you want to help you with the
I
Spanish.
have the answer to what can we do, and I want to add something too. We need all of you and everybody else to go to the board meeting.
Do it.
And because I'm the founding teacher of the school, I've been here since
You love
2014. The teachers and the kids go fight for these services. We have been historically, there's a new board and things are different, but historically we have been ignored.
Facts.
We are the proverbial red-headed stepchild of the district. Okay, and the chickens have come home to roost now. Okay, and just to add on, and she's given me approval to say this, Miss Erin is in our 5th year of school, we were given a counselor for the first time. Okay, I'm in a graduate program with other people working on their admin credentials. None of these people can believe that this is the first time we've had a counselor. None of them can believe we don't have an assistant principal. Okay?
Right, that's
So
huge.
she has been pink slipped as well. Here's how that works. Okay, she has the least amount of seniority amongst the counselors in the district, so she has been told another counselor with more seniority, perhaps less qualifications, will be in her place next year. She has developed relationships for college. She's driving a student tomorrow to take the SAT. She has made huge inroads with our Native American population. She will not be here next year. Liz will not be here next year. Okay? This is unacceptable. Okay? We need, I live in the community too, and I'm a parent. My son is in 10th grade. We cannot be the only ones to fight because we are not listened to historically.
The students aren't.
And that's what I'm saying, so if everybody here would just write an email to Mr. Jones and Ms. Whitten.
Yep.
And also come to the board meeting if you
It's
can.
a great
have to
thing.
go-
It's a state law, if you have your tenured and she's the least one, I mean, there's not a whole lot.
The loophole is that the job description was different because you have to have college and career experience, which none of the others do.
Okay.
And that
So-
was on the job
So
description.
just so you know, because of that, there is that loophole that we're gonna look into, but our counselor, who is amazing, could be replaced by somebody, and this is for your own kids. Okay, this is not for that will not have college experience in getting kids to college, taking the SAT, things like that. So we need to not, this is the reverse of complacency. Okay, I've just been very hot-headed since yesterday afternoon when I found out all this stuff, because I wear a lot of different hats in this community, okay? But we need parents to be out in force, write an email and come to the board meeting.
But even more so than the board meeting, write an email to Mr. Jones
Yeah.
today.
Okay, I gotta add, these are the things we need to know as parents. I work, many work. If this is what you need, put out an email. I know people would jump behind you. I know I would. I'd get out there. Those are the things, let us know how we can support you. 100% behind you.
But I think
We need
some
more
of it you
notice.
can't put in the
Yeah,
email
that's
necessarily.
And I'm also, and then I'm gonna
But it
go
can
away,
be a
'cause I'm
side note.
making a lot of, but
However-
the other thing is
No, we
too,
love you.
this all filters down. If Liz is gone, if Erin's gone, there's even another staff member that's been pink slipped that I'm not gonna talk about. This will change next year's schedule, okay? We can have a schedule with AP classes, with additional EL classes, which we need and are mandated by law to have, or we can have a bare bones humanities schedule, which is my department, of 9th history, 9th English, 10th history, 10th English, no electives.
Yeah,
Okay?
we wanna support you.
So, I don't know, for me personally, and again, because I can say these things because I'm tenured and I also don't care, because I love the school that much and the kids that much,
The kids
I'm
love
gonna die
Bonsall.
on the hill, okay? So I need some people that will die on the hill too.
We're there.
I'm gonna say something. I just joined the school when my daughter was a sophomore. I think I joined the pink meetings back then, 3 years ago. This is the first time in 3 years that I see more parent participation.
It's
So the
great.
parents that came, I wanna thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Because see, I'm a senior, I'm moving on, my daughter is going off to college. It is the freshmen's parents and the sophomores and the juniors that need to participate. And if you guys don't speak and support the good things, there are parents here that their kids have been here since kindergarten in Bonsall School District. Parents that fought for the school to stand up and to start. But it's gonna be up to the new generation of parents and students to speak out and support. I have spoken at the board meetings many times, and you guys know. And I was not supposed to speak today. My husband did not allow me to speak today. Don't engage and don't because I get in trouble. But
It's on video now, you're
you
trying.
Okay, Roman.
Now, yeah, you know Roman. So, please tell your parents, the parents of the freshmen, the future lies on your hands, not on the hands of the parents of the seniors. We love it, and we've done our part, but it's up to you. If we can leave a legacy for the parents for the future, it's for you guys to be the voice of the students, your kids, okay? So engage, participate, speak, and speak with love and passion. That makes a difference. Don't speak with anger, don't attack, you'll make a difference.
I appreciate that, and then there's people like me who has a senior daughter, but I'm not going away. I mean, this high school is as much my baby as it is, you know, the founding teachers. I want nothing but the best high school for Bonsall.
Of course, yeah.
Absolutely nothing but the best for these kids. And I need parents to start stepping up and telling the district that we stand by as parents and that we want the best for our kids and that we need the resources to make that happen.
Mhm.
So, thank you.
Exactly. Yeah, because yeah, but absolutely. I mean, it's unfortunately historically, you know, fallen on deaf ears. I would say a little bit.
But that's not the case.
No, it is. It's we're in a definitely a different mindset with the new board, and
So-
Marissa is a big part of that. But I know. Sorry.
Email addresses though for Mr. Jones, if you wanted to send him an
Yeah,
email
please.
today, David.Jones, thank you, @BonsallUSD.com.
Good day.
And then you
Jason, do you want to go through your thing?
Yeah. Hey guys, I appreciate everybody's passion on this issue. Unfortunately, our hour is pretty much
We have
up.
5 minutes.
Do we?
No, it's 10:05.
We actually are 5 over. So just real quick, another email I need from parents. If you're still interested in being part of a graduation committee, please email me. I know a couple people that were on that original list have backed out. So please email me and we will schedule a meeting of the graduation committee for next week. And we'll get that rolling. And we have a lot already kind of done, but there's still going to be some help we need from parents to make sure that it's as effective as possible. And make sure that everybody, all of our seniors deserve to have the best graduation possible, and we want that to be something awesome. So we need parent support on that. Yes, ma'am.
Could you do me a big favor? We have a track meet next Thursday. Can you not make it for Thursday night?
I will make it. Not, I will.
A lot of your seniors
I
will not be.
I will not make it on a track meet day, a golf day, or
We're meeting on Sunday at 2 a.m.
tennis day.
That's okay. That's okay.
So I don't have time to go through this, and I apologize, but
Come to the board meeting.
come to the board meeting. You'll see it in great detail.
Wednesday.
13th on next Wednesday at 6 p.m.
And if you want to speak at the board meeting, excuse me, if you want to speak at the board meeting, you have to show up like 15 minutes advance and sign your name that you want to speak at the board meeting. And yeah, there are forms in the back of the room.
It's up to elementary.
So you enter some applications or
Where are the meetings at?
Right. Yeah.
Community center.
They have the huge music performance next Wednesday night. All of Bonsall School District.
I think it might be some.
They did it on purpose.
They do
What time
The
is the
whole-
music performance?
5:30.
Is it gonna be over by 6 p.m.?
No, it's the whole school.
It might be in the NPR. Maybe the 5:30 is in the NPR.
Yeah, because it's all elementary school, middle school, high school.
It says in the gym.
Oh yeah, it's definitely not.
It's at the gym.
So you said 15 minutes beforehand, Jim, whether it's Steve?
Yeah.
And we're allowed to bring up
Yes, you're allowed to bring up any topic you want to.
I don't
I mean,
have the.
Anything you want to talk about, make sure you list it on that form.
Okay.
And if it's agendized, you can talk when it's agendized. So if you want to specifically talk about the improvement plan, we got that on the agenda. If you want to talk about the other
Pink
issues that were
slips,
discussed
we
here
can
today,
Pink slips.
then that probably is not agendized, but that's something.
That's okay, I think we should all, anybody that feels that passionate about it needs to be there to say that.
Sullivan's NPR is the band next Wednesday.
Yeah, and so Wednesday, 6 p.m. at the community center near the elementary school is when the board meeting is. I'm at basically every board meeting, and so.
me
I hope
too.
to see you guys there. Please come.
Thank you,
I've
everyone.
spoken so many times. I want to see the parents make a ruckus this time, not just the students and the teachers. Tell the board to do something.
Thank you, parents.
Thank you.
Thank you, students.
And if there's the